barely survives a fifth best team in the country in FSU.
Topping their own record.
63 to 3. Demolition Derby. I think everybody on Georgia's roster had a touchdown. Some of them had two. Georgia, I think, had almost 700 yards of offense. I don't know what else to tell you.
This season, and now you kind of project to next year. And the schedule for the Georgia Bulldogs, it is going to be absolutely brutal. But some of the biggust news these last several weeks.
Watching this game, how did Georgia ever survive? What is wrong with this thing?
Coming back on defense too, having Carson back. Really points this thing in the right direction, facing a brutal schedule to try and compete for another national championship.
I think everybody in the SEC is going to have that problem next year with the expansion with Texas and Oklahoma and the dissolving of the East and the West for divisions. And as for Florida State, Jesse, I just want to get your thoughts on this, because this may be one of these games where you don't want to take anything away from Georgia, but you just put a line through it for Florida State. You remember how you got here?
Wow. Mike Norvell is maybe building a culture, but
obviously a lot of their best players didn't play here today, but there's a lot.
Wow, what an absolutely embarrassing performance by FSU. I mean, we knew it was going to be one-sided, but you want to talk about not show up, can't play, couldn't tackle, couldn't stop a run. I think Georgia averaged almost 10 yards a run. Largest margin of victory ever in a college football game, a bowl game, excuse me. That's also matched by Georgia from last year, or not matched, but Georgia holds a record for the other one as well. So what do? I mean, if you want to get out there and jump up and down and beat your chest and pound your chest that you're the best team in the country, or you got slighted, you got to show up and play. Didn't even show up and play. So Georgia, if Georgia would have left the starters in, it'd have been 80 to 3. 80 to 3. Wow, what? This is Kirby Smart telling the College Football Playoff Committee, see what you did? FSU proved why the committee did what they did. Even if they'd have been at full power, Georgia still would have walked on them. I mean, it was not even close to being anything competitive. I mean, I enjoyed watching Georgia beat the life out of them, but Georgia could have phoned it in. Georgia could have called it a day. Georgia could have said, "Hey, it's the Orange Bowl. Who cares? It's not a playoff game." And they could have folded in. Do you know how many players opted out of the Georgia game? 2. And that was Amarius Mims and Brock Bowers. Georgia has the right mentality. Co-champs, maybe. The Murder Bowl. Committee could have filled it with a team. And FSU fans are going to run and hide. And the handful of FSU fans that you're gonna find are gonna say the only reason they lost is because players opted out and whatever. That right there was Kirby Smart showing up, taking no pity on them because they pitied themselves. They felt sorry for themselves. They laid down and cried and boo-hooed, and Georgia could have done the same thing, but didn't. Georgia showed up and played the game. I mean, what else you want me to say? Not only did Georgia beat you, Georgia absolutely embarrassed you. Georgia set bowl records on you tonight. Largest margin, I think, in a half in an Orange Bowl. Most offensive yards or something in an Orange Bowl. Largest margin of victory ever in a bowl game. Yeah. Tomahawk chop for everybody. Hey. Ridiculous. Hit a thumbs up, by the way. Yes, I'll be making a video about this. Yeah, we broke our own record. Edward Branscombe. I don't know where you got that emote from, dude. That's hilarious. Go Dogs and Happy New Year to everyone. Yeah, I've had people call me tonight and tell me that there's no way that Georgia isn't one of the top 4 teams in the country. And it's true. Yeah, almost 400 yards of rushing. I don't know if it was Kendall Milton or Dejon Edwards had over 100 yards rushing, had 9 carries. It's like, what in the world is happening? Somebody, what did you just say? Hold on. Not our fault FSU's players opted out. I don't want to hear the excuses. I'm with you. Georgia could have That's cold-blooded. Eric Johnson says FSU is crying a trail of tears. That's messed up, man. Georgia looked good, but they did have a lot more starters out. They're playing most of the game. Georgia took almost all of their starters out in the second half. Carson Beck didn't throw a ball in the second half. Gunnar Stockton looked really good. I just, watching that game, watching the performance FSU put on, that had the mentality of quitters, and every FSU fan should blame every player that opted out and didn't play in this game for that humiliating football game. Because those kids out there playing when it was 45 or 42-3 at the half, they look up at the scoreboard and they go, there's no way we're going to win this game. We have to come out here and finish playing this game. I'm surprised Kirby Smart didn't go over to Mike Norvell and go, hey, you want to have a running clock in the second half? Because we're just killing you. Muschamp throwing to Bennett is our future. This was embarrassing no matter how many opt-outs you had. I agree. Gunnar Stockton ain't no joke. Gunnar Stockton looked really good tonight. The good teams play this Monday. Did you not watch Georgia just absolutely demolish the number 5 ranked team in the country? Did you miss that? Yeah, I guess you missed that. If you're going to sit there and tell me that's not a good football team, I need you to tell me why the announcers on there were saying that Georgia was one of the best 4 in the country. Maybe that's just me. Georgia comes out, puts on an absolute beating. Players who opted out should be really embarrassed if they were on the side. They should be embarrassed, period, no matter where they're at. They should be embarrassed and ashamed. They should apologize to every one of those players that had to show up and play that game. They should apologize to the fans. They couldn't put on any better than a performance. Absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. Georgia should have been in instead of Washington. Washington versus Florida State would have been a better game. Probably. But, I mean, what can you do? It's hard to get up here as a Georgia fan and complain that we're not playing in a college football playoff. We won the last 2 national championships. Yeah, we want to, of course we wanted to win a national championship. But, I mean, our team's doing extremely well right now. I mean, we're breaking bowl records. We're setting records. We've got a number 1 recruiting class. We've got the most wins for our program. These seniors set a most wins for a senior class or something like that. It's just ridiculous how many good things are going on at Georgia right now. Yeah. So, well, guys, not a lot to talk about. We'll make a video tomorrow. Really appreciate you guys. We'll be watching other games this season, so I look forward to hearing you. Hit the thumbs up, guys. Have a great day. God bless. Go Dogs.